Today is the final full day of the PlayStation Store's Days of Play sale, and if you've yet to pick up all of your games, you should really do that as soon as possible. And in today's video, I want to highlight 10 awesome deals available as a part of that sale. Now, we already uploaded a video taking a look at some great deals under the price of $10, but now we're opening the floodgates and we're unlimiting our budget. And there are a lot of games to go over. Now, I limited it to 10 games on this list. However, there are a ton of other games that unfortunately couldn't make it into the main list. I did want to note World War Z is 30% off, down to $28, and one of my favorites that's often on sale but is such a good deal, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, is 70% off for $14.99. In the case of World War Z, it's a very recent release, and to see it 30% off already is great. It's doing relatively well, but I could see it get a little bit cheaper come the fall. In the case of The Witcher 3, we've mentioned it so many times at this point that I just wanted to give it an exterior mention apart from the list. However, if you don't have it, $15 for it is still really good. Kind of incredible to know that this game will be ported to the Nintendo Switch, although it will be priced at $60. The visuals are still a little bit of a concern to me, and I have some skepticism on it, but the fact that they're getting it to run on the Switch is incredible in its own right. However, if you do want the PlayStation 4 version, $15 for that is quite good. Alright, so moving on from that, let's get into the main list, and I do want to kick things off with Marvel's Spider-Man, which is 50% off, down to $19.99. Now, of course, if you own a PlayStation 4, chances are you do own Marvel's Spider-Man. This is one of the best-selling PlayStation 4 titles on the platform. I believe if you do take a look at it from the time it's been released, since it's only been out for a certain period of time compared to the other best-selling games, it is the best-selling PlayStation 4 exclusive, given its time window, and I think it's a tremendous game. This was honestly my favorite PlayStation 4 exclusive of 2018. I know a lot of you guys would point your attention towards another game, which we'll get to in a little bit, but I was just incredibly compelled by Marvel's Spider-Man. It wasn't a perfect game, but Insomniac has laid the foundation for a tremendous franchise going forward. The story was excellent, gameplay was great, web slinging felt natural and authentic, and of course the visuals were stunning. If you've yet to check it out, $20 for it is a great buy and you should definitely pick it up. Alright, next up we've got Martian Underworld, which is 60% off for $20 as well. This is an awesome game given how much content you are getting. If you want a game that you can be invested into for a very long time, Martian Underworld is absolutely that game. Capcom did a tremendous job with the game when it was released in January of 2018, but then they continued to just make the game better and better with free update after free update, and the experience has just gotten so much more compelling. Now, there is going to be a paid expansion coming. That is Martian Underworld Iceborne. That won't be out until September, and come September, they are going to release a complete version, which includes World and Iceborne. It'll be released at $60. So if you want to wait for that, by all means, you can do that. However, I know some of you guys want a massive game like this to delve into over your summer break. So why not pick up the base World game right now, and then come September, you can also check out Iceborne. It will be released standalone for $40, so you can pick it up then, but $20 for MH World is a great buy. Alright, next up, one of the best games of 2019, Resident Evil 2 is 40% off for $36. Now, unlike Martian Underworld, Resident Evil 2 is not a game that relies heavily on all of the content it offers, in saying that it doesn't offer a massive amount of content like MH World, but it does prioritize a lot of quality, and there's an incredible amount of quality here. The single-player campaign of Resident Evil 2 is incredible, and while yes, you can complete it rather quickly in around 12 to 15 hours, it's still so good. The presentation is excellent, visuals are great, and it does Resident Evil 2 a lot of justice. To see this game remade from the ground up for the PlayStation 4 is excellent, and $36 for it now, it's one of the cheaper prices I've seen it for, and as far as the digital price goes, this is the lowest it has been. So if you've been eyeing Resident Evil 2 for quite a while, if you want a quality survival horror game, this will definitely fit the bill. Next up, we have Shadow of the Colossus, which is 35% off for $13. Shadow of the Colossus is a tremendous remake as well. This one was done by Bluepoint Games, and considering they are working on a game that was fundamentally arguably the best PlayStation 2 game of all time, they didn't have to do a lot to make sure Shadow of the Colossus was a compelling remake. However, what they did do is create a remake that is excellent. The PlayStation 4 version of SOTC, you can look at this game now and compare it to any game that was built for the PlayStation 4 and is a brand new game, and still think Shadow of the Colossus is one of, if not the best looking games on the PlayStation 4. It looks incredible, and of course from a gameplay standpoint, SOTC is excellent as well, and now that it's down to $13, this is such an easy recommendation. Definitely give it a look. Next up, for those of you guys that love JRPGs, I did want to give a shout to Tales of Vesperia, the definitive edition. That is 40% off for $29.99. I love Tales of Vesperia. When I talk about Japanese RPGs, and more so the Tales of franchise, I always harken back to Tales of Vesperia as one of the best games in the series. Now, the Tales of games don't evolve from one another a lot, although that is changing drastically with Tales of Arise. That'll be coming out in 2020. But if you look at the Tales of series as a whole prior to Arise, the series really just stays largely similar from game to game. What sets them apart is the story and the characters, and in the case of Tales of Vesperia, the story and characters are awesome. Yuri is one of the best main characters that you'll find in a JRPG, and a large contrast to a lot of your stereotypical JRPG main characters where you have that zero to hero storyline. And while it can be compelling at times, with Tales of Vesperia, it's a little bit different than that, and the main character in Yuri is great, and the rest of the cast is awesome as well. For $30, yes, this is a game that originally released back in 2008, but it offers a sizable amount of content, around 60 to 70 hours if you do want to do everything, and the main game to just run through that is going to take quite a while as well, so I would give this a strong recommendation. Next up, I wanted to give a mention to Grand Theft Auto 5, which is 50% off for $15. I thought I'd also throw in Red Dead Redemption 2, which is down to $39. Both Rockstar games. I imagine the majority of you guys have picked up both of these games, whether you played GTA 5 on the PlayStation 3 or now you want to get it on the PlayStation 4. It's pretty good on the PS4, and it's easy to recommend it, especially now that it's down to $15. In the case of Red Dead Redemption 2, that was my overall favorite game of 2018. I thought it was better than any other game released last year, and I really enjoyed it. Even though Red Dead Online leaves a lot to be desired, I think the single-player campaign was tremendous, and for that reason alone, I think you should pick up Red Dead Redemption 2. For $39, it offers an excellent campaign with some very memorable characters, an excellent story, solid gameplay, and a diverse amount of gameplay on top of that. And hopefully Red Dead Online will continue to be making progress, and it'll get better and better, and at some point, Online will match up the quality of the single-player campaign, although that might be a little bit too far-fetched, but nonetheless, Red Dead Redemption 2 is an excellent game, and if you want to revisit GTA 5 on the PlayStation 4, you can pick that up too. Next up, we've got Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. That is 40% off for $36. This game has been kind of holding up in value for quite a while. Good to see now that it's down to $36. I can give it a strong recommendation. Now, the issue with this game is it released around the same time as a lot of other major games. Right around the time of Resident Evil 2, right around the time of Kingdom Hearts 3, and Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown kind of fell to the wayside. However, it was a very good game, and if you want an action flight simulator, you're gonna find that in Ace Combat 7. There's also some tremendous music here. The presentation is top-notch. Visually, it looks great. If you are looking for a super interesting story, you probably won't find that here. However, there are some incredible moments in the game as well, and you have a VR component as well that's exclusive to the PlayStation 4. So if you do have the VR headset, that's something to check out as well. But $36 for Ace Combat 7, I would say that's an awesome buy, so give that a look, especially because I know that this is a game so many of you guys missed out on. Next up, we have Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. That is 67% off for $19.79. Much like Martian Underworld, this is a game that you can invest an obscene amount of time into, even more so than Martian Underworld. Martian Underworld has a lot of content, but Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, this is a game you can literally spend over 1,000 hours on. Unlike Martian Underworld, with the Eternal Collection, you get the base Diablo 3 game, and then you get the expansions as well. With Martian Underworld, that expansion is still a ways away. In the case of Diablo 3, you just get all of that content right out the gate, and with all of that content, make sure you clear out your backlog. Just make sure you're not planning on playing any other games. However, if you do have a lot of time over your summer break, now is definitely the time to get into Diablo 3, but again, just realize that it is a gigantic time investment. But at $19.79, I would say that's a quality buy. Okay, next up, Doom is seeing a little bit of a discount. Wish it was a little bit cheaper, but 25% off for $15. Doom doesn't see steep discounts all too often, so I'm still inclined to give this a recommendation, especially because all of you guys saw Doom Eternal gameplay, and I'm pretty sure you guys were captivated by that. But how about you go back and play 2016's Doom and realize where the excellence came from? 2016's title was very good. Unfortunately, it lacked a little bit in its multiplayer offerings. However, the single-player campaign was tremendous, and for $15, I would still say it's well worth it on that basis alone. There's a free demo available also, so if you want to check that out, that's something to look at, but at $15, I would definitely pick that up. Okay, and lastly, we have God of War, 50% off for $20. I mentioned how Marvel Spider-Man was my favorite PlayStation 4 exclusive of last year, but I think the majority of people would probably side with God of War, and rightfully so. I mean, God of War is an excellent game. This is one of those action-adventure titles that has such an incredible amount of attention to detail, where it does undermine a lot of other games just based on its own excellence, and on top of the excellent gameplay, the great visuals, you also have an excellent story here, and of course, if you finish the game, you know that there's a lot more God of War to come, and this is a story that's gonna play out over another few games, and that gets me very excited, given that what they were able to pull off with God of War, what they can do in a sequel and follow-up title, Sony Santa Monica Studio has their work cut out for them, but I entrust them to deliver something really good. And if you've yet to play this game, even if you haven't played the original trilogy, you can jump right in with God of War and still have a really good time, so definitely give it a look, especially at the price of $20. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, today is the final day for Days of Play, so make sure you pick up all the games that you've been eyeing, because the sale will be ending very, very soon. So that's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.